We got some poster board material. Let's hear from Leonard Williams on people hating on the Seahawks unnecessarily and how haters are his biggest motivators. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Seahawks Digest, the show that brings you daily content in, out, and everywhere in between of the season. And that means, for some reason, a lot of this offseason is spent talking about why everybody is twisting themselves into pretzels to explain why the Seahawks are not going to go back-to-back and why they're not good. They're not the Super Bowl favorites. I've had enough of it. Leonard Williams has had enough of it. I hope you have had enough of it. The headline for today is pretty simple. This Myles Garrett trade has people thinking that the Rams have already won the next jillion Super Bowls. Aaron Donald's coming out of retirement, et cetera, et cetera. All these great things are going to happen, and they're just discounting the fact that the Seahawks are the defending champs and that they got even better. So we're going to talk about some really juicy quotes. Leonard Williams doing much more than just the I'm not. He did, thankfully, not very many Seahawks players have followed in Marshawn Lynch's school of media training, and we have some actual stuff to talk about. Speaking of things to talk about, got to always hit a quick thank you to Prize Picks, the sponsor for today's video, before we get to all the headlines. Right now, Prize Picks is hooking it up for new Digest, not new, well, I guess if you're a new Digest listener, but for new users who are Digest listeners. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports pick app, and if you use the code Digest, you get $50 when playing your first $5. Okay, you saw the headlines. OTAs, mini camp, there's always little press gaggles and people kind of hanging out and talking, and sometimes you can get a superstar to say a thing or two. Sometimes you can get him to say several paragraphs of stuff. And this Myles Garrett to the Rams is a big deal. I don't want to have you guys thinking that I'm here just dismissing it, being like, oh, who cares, dog? He's spent boat racing them. But at the same time, one guy does not shift the balance of the entire league in a way that you can just be like, oh, well, the Seahawks, never heard of them. So let's react to him talking about the layers on layers. We're a parfait of content. I think that's something we have out here in Seattle. Playing in the Pacific Northwest, we feel like we get overlooked a lot of times. So I feel like we already kind of have a chip on our shoulder. And even after winning the Super Bowl, we're still not considered favorites, so I think it's definitely stacking some chips on everybody's shoulders, and we're just saying, watch out. It's crazy that it's a real thing, the East Coast bias, but Seattle somehow has like a double bias against it. Like, it not only are we not East Coast, but we're not like major market LA or San Francisco, so there's like the double layers of bias. Okay. I love this, though. Playing with a chip on your shoulder, to me, feels like step one. That's the 2 tabs of Alka-Seltzer to deal with a Super Bowl hangover. So at the very least, you know that they got that fire in them, where they're coming out and they're saying, hey, we're going to keep grinding, we're going to keep working. Because to me, this does not just feel like lip service of him being like, oh, yeah, Myles Garrett's a big deal, whatever. Like, oh, no, we're going to come ready. He's saying, no, look, it's already BS that you're getting after us, saying that we're not the favorites. And now you're going to specifically highlight this trade? No, we're out here working. Past that, though, he started to talk about the defense and given some specific little tidbits on how things have been going from his point of view with their chips on their shoulders, how they've been working this offseason. And like, this guy gives a good quote. Say there's no difference. That's something that's actually we've been harping on a lot, is starting from the ground, just like we did last year. We talked about climbing that mountain, playing in the death zone. Like, who gives these quotes? This is awesome, which is what we harp on. Our style of football is playing in the death zone. Can I, that might have to be the new, I'll get that quoted up here for the new studio backdrop. Our style of football is playing in the death zone. That's awesome. That's what you got to have when you're facing everybody's best shot and the doubters and the haters. I love that. That's a great foundational piece to have. Then he goes on to talk about some of the guys around him, specifically Devon Witherspoon his energy and his passion. He talks about how he is going to be an absolute standout player this coming season. Talks about some of the other guys. Like this whole interview, he talks about a lot of the guys, Nick Eamon, Devon Witherspoon being the two young guns, praises them in terms of their work, their growth that they have put in the off season. And I'm like, this last season, they had to have both a good offense and defense to make it to the Super Bowl. But last season, that defense was very, very elite, if not the best defense in football. And to have a good majority of it coming back, including some of the veterans who might have been dealing with some, maybe are they going to retire, are they not going to retire? But to have them come back and be like, yo, this core of young guys behind us are absolute stars and studs. And I did a whole video on Nick Eamon, who's going to be used as this like Swiss Army knife. So please go check that out. We're too deep into this one to also then go give you 8 more minutes of content on him. But like I said, we got a ton of stuff coming out. I don't see where you look at this defense and go, no, I don't think that they have it in them. I get that we're kind of in a Seahawks echo chamber. I'm a Seahawks fan. You're a Seahawks fan. But who can provide to me any sort of objective thesis on why this defense would have gotten any worse from last year? That's just kind of where my mind is at. And then hearing that death zone quote, I'm like, the hairs on the back of my neck. I'm ready for football. I hope you guys are ready for football as well. It's going to be an amazing season for the Seahawks. All season long, you can be taking Seahawks action from Prize Picks. They are America's #1 sports pick app. And right now they want to hook up, as I said at the top, they want to hook up Digest listeners with a sweet deal. If you use code DIGEST when you're signing up right now, hitting that link that we got for you, then using the code, you'll get $50 when you play your first $5 in lineups. They also got a bunch of great promotions going on right now. The Scary Hours boost still in effect for whatever is left of the NBA Finals, whether that's just tonight or more game. Maybe Wembanyama can push it to a Game 7. But yeah, the Scary Hours boost is kicking in for all that. Flex Fridays is back. You can get 40% bigger payouts if you use your Flex Friday boost. Then Taco Tuesdays. Who doesn't love Taco Tuesdays? All period day, period, long period. The Prize Picks board is serving up discounted projections every Tuesday. Code DIGEST, $50 for new users when you play your first $5 in lineups. All right, that's what I've got for you. The Death Zone. Love it. Here for it. It's going to be a great season. Talk to you guys soon.